Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of PlayPSVR. We get these episodes coming at you in waves, baby. Waves, one after the other, once a week, getting that fix in. Adam, how do you feel about waves, man?
Well, I'm not a huge fan of waves unless they're in the ocean. But you know what? I'm feeling good, Alex, because here's the thing, buddy. We're about what, two weeks out from Christmas or so, and so I'm feeling jolly. I attempted to wear my Christmas sweater on this episode, and this is a special one because we are, for the first time, actually recording ourselves doing the show live, and we're going to put that up. And unfortunately, I have a green screen and my sweater is green. So unfortunately you couldn't see that. It was a good sweater, but I'm feeling good. And Alex, I got one phrase for you, a Christmas jolly phrase that I want to express to you. Can you guess what it is?
Merry Christmas, man. You're the kind of person that's real emotional and just likes to wish well upon people. So I think it's just Merry Christmas. Am I right?
No. The phrase is actually "suck my jingle balls." Instead of jingle bells, it's balls, like jingle balls. You get it?
I get it. I mean,
jingle balls, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on my jingle balls. Ask your mom. Okay. Anyhow, you were in the middle of an intro before I ruined it.
No, the intro's done, Adam. Let's move on. How about your gamer juice? Merry Christmas, Adam. Love you too. Tell me about your gamer juice.
Oh, man. I wish they had a gamer juice called Jingle Balls because that would be a nice lead-in. Anyhow, so I'm very surprised with this gamer juice this week. So I've got body armor, and I tried this a long time ago, and it tasted like nutsack sweat. Like, it was not good, and so I never bought it again, and it was a little overpriced. This one was only about $1.25, but it's a blackout berry, and let me tell you, dude, it is real good. It's got 10% coconut juice in it. Then it's like a Gatorade wannabe, so it has electrolytes and that crap in it, a bunch of vitamins. But it tastes really, really good. I'm just surprised. From the first one I tasted, it's a complete stark contrast. So superior hydration for me, body armor. I was looking at the bottle. I'm very surprised that they didn't say anything about it being owned or at least heavily invested by Kobe Bryant, which I would have assumed that they would have that everywhere as a big endorsement, but they don't. So I kind of respect them. So this is to Blackout Berry Body Armor Juice. So what are you drinking tonight?
So is it body armor because it turns your skin into like iron or something cool like that? Or is it body armor because it's for fat people who want to feel like they are athletic?
Probably definitely more of the second. But it's gluten-free. So everyone who thinks they have gluten allergies, it's perfect for you.
And then if you do have a gluten allergy, it might not actually be gluten-free. But anyways, I digress. Moving on, I'm trying something new today. I got to do some traveling tomorrow, so I can't imbibe like I normally do with my gamer juice. I have instead Mr. Flav, strawberry banana, aerated water. It looks like a can on the top, looks like a bottle on the bottom. It was 99 cents at the grocery store. I have no idea how this is going to be. Do we want to do a live taste test right now? Because I'm kind of scared and I'm kind of excited. Are you
Dude, that looks unlike any drink I have ever seen in my life. Wait.
What if I told you it had 0% juice?
Wouldn't be surprised one bit. It's all artificial.
Ready? Here we go with the choo.
Oh, dude. You need to open those before. No one wants to hear that.
Okay, hold on. Wait. It's just like candy-flavored water. It tastes like a Starburst.
Dude, that's great.
It's not bad. It's strawberry banana. Hey, you know what, Mr. Flav? I want to join your family. I want to be Alex Flav. For the rest of the podcast, Adam, call me Alex Flav.
You need to send me a can of that because I love red Starburst and I like the look of that bottle. That's unique.
Let me talk to my dad, Mr. Flav, and we'll see if we can get it arranged to send you a case or so and
a case
sponsorship. Yeah, we're going to send you a bunch, man. We want you to enjoy.
I don't want the diabetes. Anyhow, so let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about some PSVR. So Let's just start with our games of the week. So mine, I had the honor of playing Red Matter for PSVR. And so it's a puzzle game, and it's really honestly a game, Alex, I didn't think I would like. You even mentioned that I don't know if this is the game for you. And it started off exactly like that. I was like, oh no, it's going to be a boring puzzle game with a pretty bad plot, and it's slow movement, it's teleportation, uses the freaking move controllers. It had a lot going against it, but something in the middle of that kind of just reached out to me. So it kind of feels like 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is awesome. And that is certainly a good thing. Thankfully, it's not as long or slow or boring, but you essentially are an astronaut. You have to go solve puzzles to, do various missions that you can hear over the low intercom that you have. And the atmosphere is it's really cool. It's almost creepy because you're in this like deserted land, and you could tell that there were remains of people and they're dead. And there's a big science experiment. You're on the space station, and not like outer space station, but like almost like Mars. I don't remember if they actually told you. I guess red matter would probably lend you to think it's Mars, but I don't remember if it specifically said Mars or not. But it's kind of eerie with there not being anyone there. So that nothing is going to jump out and scare you. That's not a horror game. It's not designed to scare you. But yet there's still an uneasiness knowing that you're the only one around. So that was really cool. The puzzles really aren't difficult. I'm very, very close to being done. But unfortunately, I had work, so I couldn't finish it. But I'm really close, and the puzzles really are not hard. There was one time I was stumped, but it was because there was just a little thing in the corner of the room that I didn't see. Had I seen it before, I would have known exactly what to do. But it's not insanely easy. It's not so easy as Torn was, but it still, I don't know. I mean, it's not super hard. Don't anticipate racking your brain on this stuff, but it's just the game, I don't know, grew on me. I like it. When you teleport, it's like you actually are an astronaut. You could tell that you levitate a little bit, like it's lower gravity, and you kind of go there. The move controllers suck, like they always do, so that's the way those go. And there's a lot of things not to like about it, but yet somehow I can't say it's a bad game. Like, I'm going to finish the game, then write a full review on our website. So that will be done real soon. But I mean, I'm probably going to give it a 7 probably, unless things go south. So I'm digging it, especially, it's a little shorter of a game, but the price was a little cheaper. And so, I'm digging it.
I'm very envious, Adam, because I wanted to play this game. I had a backlog. I couldn't really argue about whether who gets this game or not. I feel like this game is the lost brother in the trilogy that we're going to have to write our own fan fiction for. It's the trilogy of Downward Spiral, Detached, and now Red Matter. And I'm going to be writing that on my own personal blog. It's on Tumblr. It's called Space Boys Adventures, and it's on Tumblr, and you can find it. And I write it every week. Not really, guys. Don't get too excited. But really, it does sound like the end point. Detached is all in space. Downward Spiral, you're kind of like on Mars and kind of not. And then this, you're like entirely on Mars or something. Adam, I do have one question for you, and it's kind of a pun. Would you say that red matter requires you to use a lot of your gray matter? Or does it end up being nothing but brown matter in the end?
I refuse to answer that. That is a very poorly asked question. You suck, Alex. What I will say is that this game is 100 times better than Detached is. I didn't play Horror Station, so I don't really know about that game, though.
Well, you've piqued my interest, and it sounds like if you like space stuff, you've piqued their interest. The fact is, it's not your style of game, and you're enjoying it, which means I'm probably going to love it. So thanks a lot for taking that from me, Adam. I appreciate it. Developers, who are the developers? Do you remember? Vertical Robot.
There's too many. I don't remember.
Vertical Robot, Adam. I just said it. Vertical Robot. Thank you for the code. Adam greatly appreciates it, even though he doesn't act like he appreciates it. We love you guys. Okay, are you done? Can I talk now?
You know, I could tell the whole time you were just there on the edge of your seat. You were talking to yourself for about 30 seconds there. Go ahead, big boy. Tell me what you've been playing.
All right, like I keep it short and sweet. I didn't play too much, or I played more Arcus Path. I talked about that last week. It's not fun. It's getting worse. Really, that game makes me mad. It's a pretty game, and it sounds like they just stole the music straight from Rez. The game just makes me mad though. The controls are so awful. But we're not talking about that. Apex Construct had an update. They released a new game mode called the Cygnus Cup. Cygnus Cup, and what you're doing is
Wait, I thought it was the Signia Cup or Signa.
might be Cigna, something like that. Whatever that company is. Anyways, it takes place in like a destroyed arena from the environment of the post-apocalyptic environment of Apex Construct, and you go to different points in this arena and you have to shoot at targets with your bow and arrow. And it doesn't sound too exciting, but it's a score attack mode. You know, going through it one time is going to take you about 5 minutes, and you're going to get faster every time you do it. And really, there's just a leaderboard. You're trying to get to the top of it. And I hate that it's really short, but it's free. And I'll tell you, I got addicted to it until I made my way to the top 10. And then I got to the top 10 and I was not satisfied, Adam. I was not satisfied, and I must be satisfied with these games. I sent it to you, Adam. And if you were on last night looking at the top 10, just drooling over these godly gamers that are getting the high scores in this game, you would have seen DCKTOWN Dicktown. Number 2 on the leaderboard. Yeah, that's right. I'm not number 1. So I apologize for not being number 1, guys. I can't devote that much time to it. But I was number 2. I was good. Sigma Cup, it's really fun. The whole idea is trying to hit the targets as fast as you can. You're going to lose your combo if you don't hit them immediately. So that's kind of the challenge. If you're more accurate, you get more points. So it's really fun to score attack that. Short-lived experience. Not going to take forever, but I really enjoyed it. Adam, do you have any questions about Sigma Cup? Are you going to challenge me on that, or am I going to destroy you on that as well?
I just want to give you a piece of advice. Enjoy it, because I was on top of the world in death, and soon enough people started playing, and then I got shellacked. So same thing's going to happen to you, my friend. Enjoy it. Enjoy while you're on the top, because it's short-lived.
All right. I mean, I played some in-depth too. Those scores are absolutely insane. I played for like 2 hours last night. Thought I was doing a hell of a job. Get to the end, I'm ranked like 1,030th or something like that in the world.
What was your score? Do you remember?
Whatever yours was, and put a 0 at the end of it.
Yeah, sure, butthole. Anyhow, so the final game I want to talk about is Guns and Stories Bulletproof. I should talk like an old Western man from here on out. F me, boys, it's a web shooter. I'm not going to do that because you wouldn't even know what I'm saying. I've been told I don't have a great Western accent, but I don't think that's true. Regardless, this is a wave shooter. F my life. I didn't know. And, I mean, you know, if you've listened to the podcast, I don't like wave shooters. I think it's about the lowest form of VR that you could get. But for whatever, you know, it's a wave shooter. So had I known it was a wave shooter, I would have given that to you, Alex, and I would have, I don't know why I would have taken, but I would have given it to you. The biggest problem with this game, again, the stupid move controllers. I hate the move controllers. With these games, I understand that they provide a platform to really make the game unique and allow you to feel like you're more immersed, but they are so bad. I much rather would play a game with the DualShock than the move controllers. I hate them. They're miserable. I never have problems with my setup, and just every now and then, depending on the game, actually I would say with move controllers, about 80% of the time they don't work or they're not accurate enough to actually perform in the game, and that's exactly the case in Guns and Stories, for me at least. And you essentially, who was it? I think your grandson finds a gun. He comes and he's talking about the gun. And so then you go into this whole thing about how you achieved and collected that gun. And so he tells a little bit of the story. You play a couple levels. You tells a little more of the story. You play a level. Little story, little level. Story level, story level. Wow. Intriguing, right? Not. It's very basic. But regardless, it's actually very challenging, but like even if the motion controllers did work, it would still be a challenging game. And with them not being accurate, it's nearly impossible. I only had a normal mode, and I mean, I got decently far, but I can hold the move controller right here, and in the game, my gun moves. Like, it's horrible. And the wave shooter is such that, I mean, there is constantly crap flying at you, and there's so many enemies. Oftentimes, when my trigger fingers, like my hand actually hurt. And it was just because the whole time you're just, banging.
Banging away,
It's
man.
a good rhyme for it.
Banging away.
Banging and clanging, banging and whatever. Regardless, banging and ranging. I'm just pulling the trigger, and it's to the point where it's not fun. Like, it kind of sucks. And it's just so, I feel like, uninspiring. Like, it's show a little of the plot and then go. I mean, the environments are nice and they were creative. The graphics are somewhat cartoonish. They're not realistic. They look good, but there's not really much to marvel at there. There are a lot of weapons to choose from, but, so does Blasters of the Universe. So I really don't have much to say about it. It's just somewhat uninspiring. It's a wave shooter. If you want another wave shooter, there you go. It's not broken. It works well. I think what their vision was, they executed well. It's just, why would you want to play a wave shooter? There are enough non-wave shooter games out there in PSVR that you shouldn't have to stoop that low. So that's where I'm at with Guns and Stories. You got any questions, Alex?
So, I mean, it's right there in the title, Guns and Stories. Half of the game is guns, half of the game is stories. You got to tell me, Adam, is the story any good?
I mean, I would say it's average. It's not horrible, but I mean, I'm not dying to figure out the ending. So let's put it that way. I haven't finished it. It's just so long.
Is it funny?
No.
Is it difficult?
I mean, the game is, yeah.
Are there leaderboards, and are you on the top of it? Probably not.
I don't know I don't remember if there's leaderboards. I'm just trying to get through the story at this point, and there is an arcade mode in which I would almost certainly believe that does have a leaderboard to it. I just haven't played arcade mode yet.
Well, so sounds like a not fantastic game, but it is a wave shooter, so it's kind of what you see is what you get. So speaking of wave shooters, should we let the listeners know what our special topic is today?
Well, you didn't do it in the intro, so I guess this is a good time to hop over into segment 2, take a little break. But yeah, so our second segment, essentially, we're going to have a March Madness-like competition where we have taken 16 wave shooters for the PSVR. We have put them in tournament style, face to face. They're battling each other. We're going to go all the way down until we find the number one wave shooter for the PSVR. I'm also somewhat depressed that there's so many wave shooters, Alex. But I think I'm kind of excited. So before we even look at the bracket, do you have a sense of what wave shooter will win? You don't have to tell me what it is. We'll save it for next segment. But do you have a feeling?
I know what I think my favorite wave shooter is, but the beauty of these brackets is you never know what's going to shake down in the end. There could be an upset from the get-go that just knocks it down. So I'm looking forward to it, Adam. I'm looking forward to it.
Also, there's like 20 of them. We haven't played all of them, but there's a lot of them. So the one I'm thinking of, there may be another one I'm not thinking of right now that may very well be better. So for the time being, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in segment 2, tackle that tournament, and we're going to find out which one of these bad boys, these wave shooters, are the best on the PSVR. So stay tuned, folks. We're coming right back at you. Welcome back to PlayPSVR, the podcast, the Jingle Balls special. Jingle balls, jingle balls, jingle balls rock. Jingle balls all on your face. I actually don't remember how that song goes, but I do love me some Christmas carols, love me some Christmas songs, love me some jingle balls. And what can I say? I love it. Do you love them, Alex?
I just like how you like to talk about balls so much, Adam. And that's a Christmas gift in and of itself to me.
The thing is, I don't like talking about
I'm sorry.
balls.
I'm sorry. You like singing about balls. There we go.
I do like jingle balls. Anyhow, as we promised, and we probably should have hyped this up a little more, Alex, because I think it's a pretty sweet idea. But regardless, what we have done, there to Alex and my best estimation, there are a little over 20 wave shooters for the PSVR. However, there are only about 16 of those that we know well, that we have played to completion, and that we feel good enough about being able to rank and do them justice. So we've taken those 16 and we have randomly assorted them into a bracket, and we're going to go through the brackets. They're in no order. There are no seeds, like a 1 seed versus 16 seed. It's just complete random. We're going to talk about which one of the wave shooters are better, and we're going to progress through the bracket until we get to the final game, which will be hailed King of the PSVR wave shooters.
It'll be called the Big Kahuna. How about that? The Big Kahuna.
The big jingle ball.
Way to ruin the whole wave motif, Adam. All right, let's go on. I'll start the list off. Our first fight, Adam, it's a tough one, but it's one nobody wants to watch. It is the American Dream versus VR Invaders. Now, I have not played VR Invaders. It was an early title that I was interested in getting. You stepped on that grenade, or jumped on that grenade for us, and you played that title. You also jumped on the American Dream grenade. I'm going to defer to you. Kind of compare these two just briefly for me.
And so the grenade is a perfect example and I guess metaphor or whatever the heck you want to call for the American Dream, because it's a piece of flaming bullcrap. It's trash. I haven't completed the game yet because it crashes every time I try to play. It gets to a certain point, it just glitches. It sucks. It was supposed to be funny. There was one point in which there was a ride in which you had to shoot the commie. I thought that was pretty funny. Regardless, it's not that good. It's an attempt to be funny, and it wasn't funny, and it wasn't great. VR Invaders is a shorter experience, but it definitely takes a lot more challenge. It's a more modern type of game, different weapons, a lot more creativity in bosses and level design and enemies. VR Invaders takes this hands down very easily. I like the idea of the American Dream. It just wasn't executed well. It wasn't funny. Like, you could tell they were trying to be funny, but it wasn't. It just didn't click. It wasn't that great. It was like a 4 out of 10 probably. VR Invaders definitely wins that one, so put that puppy through.
All right, so we got VR Invaders, first one going through. Not really a surprise to anybody. I think VR Invaders is known to be a decent title. American Dream kind of got panned. I want to say, before we move on any further, that there's a lot of games that have wave shooter modes. I'm looking at Killing Floor. I'm looking at Arizona Sunshine, things like that. We did not want to include those games in here because it would be hard to separate the quality of the title outside of the wave shooter aspect from this competition. So in order to be honest about our opinions, we excluded games like Super Hot, which technically would have waves, and these other exciting games that have a wave shooter add-on. Moving on. Is there
any way that if we considered Super Hot as a wave shooter, is there any way that game wouldn't win?
Yeah, I think so. And
you are trash. You suck. There's no way. Super Hot is miles above all of these games. I can't believe you just said that. I could slap you and your mother. Hey, you fool. Hey. How dumb are you?
Don't talk about my mom when we're trying to do the Sweet 16 bracket. She wants to hear which game is going to win. Do not delay us any further. Second round, Adam, we have a favorite of the podcast, Ancient Ambulator. You know, it doesn't get much recognition, but it's a game that Adam and I love. It's what helped our relationship.
You love it.
It's what helped our relationship blossom after we beat most of Battlezone. Now, the other game, it was the second game, most people don't know, second game to come out to support the aim controller, and that is Dick Wild. Dick Wild. Now, that is a game I feel like I should have played, but I have not played. And I'll tell you why I haven't played it. It is because every time I think about getting Dick Wild, I read comments from people, and everyone says, yes, this game is fun, but this game is too effing difficult. People can't get past the second wave. Now, if you're going to give me a wave shooter, Adam, I need to be able to see more than 2 waves before I want to die, before the game kills me. So for that reason, I think Ancient Amulet here goes for it. Do you have any argument here?
Well, I know that Alex likes Wild Dicks, but I guess not Dick Wild. Also, I'm a little confused. Also, I thought the 16 we put on here we've played, but neither of us have played Dick Wild. But I think it's pretty obvious and very easy to say that Ancient Amulet is, of these two, the top dog. So I say push it through. It has more extra content, more enemies, more atmospheres, more content. It's just better. Multiplayer, you could go on. It doesn't have a or a aim controller compatible though, so that hurts it. But still, not enough for Dick Wild to overcome.
All right, yeah, and we could talk more about the merits of it on the next round. But going into round 3, this is another one where we talk about a game neither of us have played. I've played a little bit of it, and a game that only you have played, Adam. We're looking at the Servios, one of the first titles they released, Raw Data, the ever expensive Raw Data, and Sneaky Bears, a perennial budget title, always on sales. I haven't played it, but I've heard good things about it. Adam, can you tell me about Sneaky Bears just a little bit?
So the thing about Sneaky Bears is just a very cute title, wave shooter. You sit there. There's the evil teddy bear that captures one of your buddies who's a little panda bear, and of course they're all stuffed animals. And so it's your job to get Buddy the panda out of capture from this other evil teddy bear. It's just, it's a game that your 6-year-old niece could play and would love. It's a good game. In terms of the fact that it's well executed, it's not glitchy, it works well, but it's just average. It's not a game that I'm really gonna want to play. I would never want to platinum it. It's not something you would show your friends if they came over and played PSVR for the first time. It's just a real cutesy wave shooter, and for that reason, I'll let you talk about Raw Data. Even though I haven't played it, I would say that one's got to overtake Sneaky Bears.
Yeah, so Raw Data really helped Servios put their name on the map in terms of VR. It was a PC VR title that a lot of people wanted ported over to the PSVR, and it came over. It uses the Move controller, so Adam, you're going to be upset about that, but it uses them effectively in that there are multiple play styles. There's characters that uses a sword, there's characters that uses pistols, and there's characters that uses machine guns. You can kind of move around the environment, so that's a little extra feather in its cap that's going to make it more exciting. So it feels less like a wave shooter and more just kind of like an action game. It's kind of self-contained. It's almost not a wave shooter, I would say, but it is definitely, by definition, a wave shooter. That, along with the sharp graphics, I think puts it over Sneaky Bears. And just a quick correction about Sneaky Bears, Adam. My niece is 5. She is not 6. Thank you very much. So, do we agree Raw Data goes on into the next round?
No doubt.
Bum, bum, bum. All right. Adam, you want to introduce the next fight for us?
Sure. So a game you're going to have to talk about, Wraith, is one that I have yet to play. However, looks kind of cool. And then one we both have had the honor of playing, and one that I have really high on our list, honestly, is Blasters of the Universe, in which you have almost an insane amount of combinations of weapons and skills, along with great enemies, really very challenging levels, but still doable. And they have weekly challenges. There's just a whole lot to love about Blasters. So for me, I haven't played Wraith, but looking at reviews and seeing gameplay, I still put Blasters ahead for me personally.
I think Blasters was a favorite coming into this tournament, Adam. Everybody that's played Blasters has loved it. It's got a sweet, sweet price. It hangs out around the $8 range when it goes on sale. Wraith is a title that came out. Nobody talked about it. Nobody's heard about it since. I watched some footage of it. It looks like a low-rent version of Brookhaven. And for that reason, I am replacing Wraith on this list with the Brookhaven Experiment, because I forgot to include the Brookhaven Experiment when we were making this list. Now, Adam, let's argue. You argue for Blasters of the Universe. I'm going to argue for Brookhaven Experiment. Brookhaven Experiment is a game. It's a scary game. They give out free Halloween content to make it even scarier. Extra levels, extra enemies. This game scared the crap out of me to where I stopped playing it because I could not go any further for fear of peeing myself. Also, Adam, this game allows you to use move controllers with a flashlight in one hand and a pistol in the other hand, or a knife if you need it when it gets up close. It also implements the PS aim controller. So you can play with rifles and machine guns, or you can play with Uzis and pistols and a flashlight. Now, there's no locomotion in this game, and there's limited weapon adjustments. Blasters of the Universe might take it there, but do you have anything that you can say about Blasters that will put it over the top for Brookhaven Experiment?
Well, first of all, I didn't know Wraith was going to become Brookhaven, so you really screwed me there. But here's the thing. Brookhaven is one that I'm interested in because of the horror aspect. Again, I hate wave shooters, though. I do love the aim controller. This, I think, is easily – I'm going to be honest. I think this matchup, which is maybe a little why this bracket type of competition is unfair, because these two very well could have met in the Final Four, and that would have been very respectable. Yet, just like in March Madness, sometimes there's a team that's underseeded, and now they're playing a team that really they should be playing, rounds ahead. This is tough. I mean, I just haven't played Brookhaven, so I don't know. I know I really like Blasters. Thus far, from what we've talked about, I think Blasters is the best. So
let's settle it this way, Adam. I'm going to think of a score in my head that I would give Brookhaven. You think of a score in your head that you would give Blasters. All right? Think in your head about the score.
Wait, let me just go. Let me just go to the website and look at what I gave. How about that? So okay. I'm doing that right now. Okay. I'm pretty sure I probably gave it a 7 or 8. It was a very solid title.
This is going to blow up in our face if we give our games the same score. So go ahead. Tell me what score.
Did you review Brookhaven, or was that before we started reviewing games?
It was before we started reviewing.
Okay, well, that's too bad. I'm still trying to find it. We have too many reviews on the website, but that's a good thing. Dude, so yeah, this is like, what are we going to do if we get these games and we can't really decide?
This is how we're doing it, man. We're doing it live, man. I need you to hurry up and give me the score. Who cares about what you scored it then? Tell me what you feel like.
Okay, I scored it an 8.
Okay, Adam, I would have given Brookhaven Experiment a 7, a solid 7, a non-inflated 7. It is definitely better than the Walker, which is kind of a spoiler. But by virtue of your 8, Adam, and you give out 8s very stingily, Blasters of the Universe must be as good as Pop-Up Pilgrims. So because of that,
I was about ready to say, dang it.
Blasters of the Universe goes on in a surprising upset and a Fight of the Year candidate. Blasters of the Universe moves on to the next round. And I think, honestly, it deserves it. I'm very happy with Blasters of the Universe. And
that's true.
Maybe it deserves to win because of that audible I pulled. But why don't you lead us into the next one, Adam?
All right. So we got Guns and Stories, which I've already talked about today. I'm not going to rehash. And then Super Stardust Ultra VR, which I haven't played.
All right. I have played Super Stardust Ultra. It's a port of a very popular, very addictive game made for the PS4. It was free, and then they made a VR update where it's essentially a 2D game. You're a spaceship going around fighting waves of enemies. But they included a special VR mode, and it's almost like Battlezone Light. You're in the bottom of an asteroid crater, and you're playing the 2D game, but you're playing it in 3D now. Now, it is only waves, and they keep coming nonstop, and there's not much variety, but it's very engaging, and it's very enjoyable, and it's got a nice price of like $2 whenever I got it. It might be free now. So, Adam, what say you? A game that I enjoy playing and that is known to be an addictive game that in 2D that looks very nice and three-dimensional in 3D compared to Guns and Stories.
Well, the thing is, I feel like Guns and Stories may be a little more immersive, and I feel like maybe you actually shoot enemies, which can be somewhat fulfilling. But again, the move controllers are tough. The plot and the whole idea of the game, I feel like, is somewhat uninspiring. I have a hard time fighting for Guns and Stories because it's just so average of a wave shooter. So if you think Super Stardust is better than an average wave shooter, I think that should win.
I think it should win too, Adam. I'm glad to beat you in this fight. Super Stardust Ultra VR goes on into the next round.
All right, so the next couple are games that only you have played, so you're going to have to lead the way here. So we have The Walker versus Pixel Gear.
Okay, So we all know my history with the Walker. I scored it absurdly high with a 7 or 7.5. I regret that. I have played Pixel Gear. I played Pixel Gear a little bit less than I played the Walker. Pixel Gear, it's an early title. It's super cheap. You can get it for like $1 at some sales, $2 in some sales. It's straightforward in what it is. It works well. It tracks well. There's a decent amount of enemy variety, decent amount of gun variety. There's a decent amount of content there. It's very pixelated. The graphics aren't great. And that takes us to the Walker. The Walker has kind of one-note gameplay, very limited weapon variety. You have melee weapon and you have a couple magic bullets you're never really going to use because they just slow you down, and you have one gun. Enemy variety is abysmal. I think there's 3, maybe 4 if you include the boss. But the graphics are so good. So if they could release more levels or just add 3 more enemies, this game would be so much better. And the Walker kind of makes you scared sometimes. It can be kind of scary. So for that reason, for that little bit of extra magic that the Walker has, it made me feel like I was on the streets of China fighting against these grimy demons. I'm going to have to give Walker the nod here. Adam, do you disagree?
I don't know anything, so I'm going to say the Walker's good to go.
So basically what I'm finding out is Adam doesn't play any games ever.
That's right. And just like this next one, actually, it's going to be tooth versus tooth, teeth versus teeth, eye for an eye right here. Shooty Fruity, which I have exclusively played, versus Space Pirate Trainer, which you have exclusively played. I would give Shooty Fruity a solid 9.5. What would you give Space Pirate Trainer?
Don't you do that to me. Don't you do that to me. Don't you do that. Why would you give Shooty Fruity a 9.5?
No, it's like a 6. It's an interesting concept in which you are a new employee at a grocery store. All the food's coming to attack you. You have different weapons, and certain weapons are better for different fruit. And you shoot the fruit, they explode. Cool idea. It got a little repetitive. I never actually ended up beating the game just because at some point it's too much. It's too boring. It's a cool game. I've definitely seen reviews of people really enjoying it. Again, I still think it's like maybe a 6. Probably a little better than the average wave shooter because of the content and the unique spin, but nothing special, and I'm certain that Space Pirate Trainer is probably going to take it.
Well, I will say that I've seen footage of Shooty Fruity, and it looks really good. It looks very nice graphically. And I love the idea of doing 2 things at once, 2 independent things at once. It seems really cool to me to have one task that you're trying to perform while trying to shoot the enemies, do this rudimentary wave shooter task. So it's a nice wrinkle to the game. It also seems like it'd be kind of funny and surreal to be shooting these fruits that are trying to eat you while trying to check out groceries at a grocery store and then getting guns going by. That's really awesome. I wish I had played this game, and I wish you would fight for it more. Unfortunately, you do not have much behind this horse in this race because Space Pirate Trainer is a fantastic game. I just released the review on the website. I'm enjoying it. Not going to talk about it too much because I don't have to argue for it too much, but Space Pirate Trainer is the definite winner here if I like the game and you don't really like your game too much. Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
All right. Space Pirate Trainer moves on to the next round.
All right, so we got Heavy Fire Red Shadow, which I know you love it, and Gunjack, which we both have played, but I mean, I think honestly Gunjack wins just because you dislike Heavy Fire Red Shadow so much. So, I mean, I don't even know. Is there anything really even to talk about?
So in terms of depth, I think there's a little bit more depth in Heavy Fire Red Shadow, but it's betrayed by 2 things. It's betrayed by the fact that the game is so broken in so many ways, so that depth goes out the window. And then it's also betrayed by the fact that the game is $30. $30. So if you think about Gunjack is regularly $3 or less, and you think about Heavy Fire Red Shadow being $30, that's buying the 2D version and then a VR add-on on top of it. What the hell are they thinking? You would have to assume that Heavy Fire Red Shadow would need to be 10 times the game that Gunjack is in order to make it equivalent. And I can tell you right now, Adam, Heavy Fire Red Shadow is not 10 times a game. And it's almost offensively bad in terms of how bad it gets everything that is not just shooting a missile out of your missile launcher.
All right, Gunjack it is.
Gunjack it is.
All right, so that was round 1. So now we're off to round 2 here, and thankfully the pace will pick up because obviously we reduced our amount of games by half. So we got VR Invaders versus Ancient Amulator.
All right.
So
Well, how do you feel about this? You've played both of these.
Yeah, I mean, here, I think what puts Ancient Emulator above is the fact they keep coming out with DLCs. There's more characters that you can play as, so there's more variety and diversity in the gameplay, whereas VR Invaders doesn't have that. Actually, now that I'm kind of talking, I think Ancient Emulator is really the better game all around. Has better environments, better gameplay, more diversity, multiplayer. It's got it all. So I think Ancient Emulator easily moves on above VR Invaders.
I can't argue with what you said, Adam. You said it so beautifully and eloquently, and I'm so happy we're recording video so I can watch you say that. All right, moving
Now
forward.
you have proof.
Moving forward, we have Raw Data versus Blasters of the Universe. And now this one is a little bit unfair because I haven't played Raw Data as much as I've played Blasters of the Universe. Adam, you haven't touched Raw Data, but just give me a sense of how you're feeling in a comparison of these two games.
I mean, you're right. It's unfair. I haven't played Raw Data at all, so I have no idea. All I know is I really like Blasters. I hate wave shooters, and I still enjoyed Blasters. I remember when I was on the final level, and I had, I think, maybe one heart left. And somehow I was like maybe 20% of the way through the level, and I was possessed. I just went absolute ham. I was crawling on the floor and contorting my body. It was awesome. I didn't get hit the rest of the game. I took down the final boss. That was an awesome moment, even for a wave shooter. For me, Blasters of the Universe is going the whole way, baby.
All right. So, yeah, you talking about that, reminding me of what it felt like when I played Blasters of the Universe and when I played Raw Data. And Raw Data, it's sharp and it's slick and it works really well. And I love Servios. But it gets a little bit repetitive in a way that Blasters of the Universe never does. It never seems to get repetitive. There's so much variety in there in terms of the gun. So for that reason, I agree with you, Adam. I think Blasters is going to the next round, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we've got Super Stardust versus the Walker. I feel like this is like the crap fest of round 2 games.
Well, the thing about this matchup that's interesting to me is that this is kind of like the tech demo matchup. Now, what do you favor more, Adam? I'll let you decide between these two. What do you favor more? A tech demo that is demonstrating interesting, fun gameplay, but it's not too much on the graphical prowess. You know, it doesn't look great, but the gameplay is there. The game is fun to play, and it's addictive, and it might be a bit repetitive, but it's firing on all cylinders in terms of gameplay. And then compare that to a game where the gameplay is rudimentary. You know, it's not broken, but it's perfunctory. It does what it sets out to do. It gives you something to do. But man, the graphics look good. The graphics, it really, really sells your presence in the environment. Now, which one for a VR wave shooter is going to make you more interested? One that makes you feel like you're there, but you're not doing too much when you're there, or one that doesn't make you feel like you're there, but you're doing a lot of fun stuff?
Here's the thing. When you say it's not graphically impressive, are you talking about it looks like freaking Invisible Hours where it literally looks like I'm trying to shove an eyeball up a bull's butthole, or just that like it's not that VR, that 3D, so it's kind of like playing an arcade game?
Like playing a really sharp arcade game, yeah.
Okay, then in that case, because the graphics aren't poor, they're just not really showing you much, I would go with I think I'd go with that one. I'd go Super Stardust.
All right, Adam, I'm so glad you came to your senses. Yeah, Super Stardust. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Walker, but I have to agree. I'd rather play Super Stardust if being forced to. Moving on, we have Space Pirate Trainer versus Gunjack. It's an almost unfair fight, but Adam, do you want to put up any points for Gunjack to try to take down this behemoth Space Pirate Trainer?
Nah, I feel like we're just wasting time.
Okay, yeah, Space Pirate Trainer. It's pretty cheap compared to these other games on here. It's really good. Gunjack, hey, you did a great job. One of the first VR games. It's tied into the Eve Valkyrie mythos, so if you like that storyline, it's going to be good for you. It's Galaga in VR, and it's like $2. It's a good game, but it's not going to beat Space Pirate Trainer. So Space Pirate Trainer moves on to the next round. Adam, how are you feeling right now? We have Ancient Emulator, Blasters of the Universe, Super Stardust VR, which is a surprise to me, and Space Pirate Trainer. How are you feeling about the top 4 wave shooters as a person who doesn't like wave shooters? Are you interested in these games?
Well, I think Super Stardust is a product of facing poor competition. I believe that Ancient Emulator is kind of mid to high level. And then I really think Blasters and Space Pirate Trainer are the two top dogs. If you're going to get a wave shooter, it's those two. I think we should just put those through in the championship match because they overmatched both the other games.
Now, I'll agree with you that Space Pirate Trainer beats Super Stardust Ultra VR, but we are going to have to argue, and you're going to have to convince me that Blasters of the Universe is definitely better than Ancient Amuletur. And now let me posit this. Ancient Amuletur, you can play as an archer, and it works very well. One of the first archery games that came out for VR, and it still is one of the best ones that we've had. And remember how it feels to shoot that arrow across the map and have it land on the enemy, just bullseye, and you watch them crumble. It feels fantastic. Now, remember, you can also play as a swordsman who flings the swords around and slashes the enemy. You can play as the puppeteer who drops his puppet on the ground far away and waves at them. You can play as the Viking who is hurling boomerangs of fish and eating turkey legs and throwing the bones. It's awesome. You can play as the girl with the big butt and the short shorts with the dual revolvers. It's fantastic. You can play as the magician casting spells slowly, but they do an area effect. It's impressive. And then on top of that, they keep adding free content for us, man. They keep giving us more levels with big boss fights. Remember how it felt when we played that level and there was the two giant gods sword fighting above us? You were in awe of the battle that was taking place above you while you're trying to do your own battle down below. Is there anything that Blasters of the Universe is doing that's inspiring you in the way that Ancient Amuletur inspired me?
So that's an issue here. You are easily amused. I think Ancient Amuletur is good, but I wouldn't say great. You just like the lady because she has big boobs and you can grab them. You could grab your own big boobs and that's it. You can imagine you're a woman and you're supposed to have boobs in VR, whereas in real life, you're just holding your own man boobs. But the thing is, I feel like Blasters is more fun. It's more immersive. You're dipping and dodging. There's tons of projectiles. It really is a bullet hell, which it is advertised as. There's enough levels to make it, that you'd want to keep playing it for repeatability. They do the weekly challenges. There's all of those combinations of different ways that you could create a gun, which is awesome because you can mix and match. And it's just really fun to go back and replay those because I forgot, they did tell you how many combinations. It was well over 100 combinations that you could have gun-wise. And it really is the fact that you get to move and you get to actually interact with the world rather than, in Ancient Amuletur, you're standing there and you just keep hitting the trigger button and it gets boring midway through the level. Whereas Blasters, you can't be bored because something's always coming after you. If you had a friend come over and they never played VR, which one of those games would you have them hook up to? I would bet you that you would have them play Blasters.
I am so glad you asked me that question, Adam, because there's an important reason I think Ancient Amuletur should go to the next round, and that is because Ancient Amuletur has 3-person online multiplayer. You can play with 3 people at the same time. None of these other wave shooters are doing this, man. It's multiplayer. Get in there with your friend. Remember when it was like the first time we played this game multiplayer and we could see each other in the game and we started punching each other and trying to poke each other in the boob? This is one of the first games that let us do that, man. Ancient Amuletur, it's so much content. It gets overlooked so badly. Do you really want to let Blasters of the Universe get by this game?
See, and this is where we're also, I think Blasters is more fun and it's more immersive. So it's do you like the niceties of Ancient Amuletur? Do you want would you rather have would you rather have a Nissan Pathfinder with all the bells and whistles? It's got the heated seats, and it has the sunroofs, and it has the triple seats, and it has all the bells and whistles like Ancient Amuletur have. It's still a good car. It's still a good game, and it has all the pretty extras. Or would you rather have a more, although maybe not quite as in-depth, but more fun game and more immersive? And instead of that Nissan Pathfinder, you had a very basic Tesla where there's no bells and whistles, but you just have pretty much the chassis, the engine, and the basics of the car. So For me, I would rather have the Tesla. I think for you, I think you'd rather have the Pathfinder. So that's going to be tough to argue here, sir.
I think that what's going to settle this is the fact that in my heart, I'm torn. If I had to live with one of these games and throw the other one in the garbage, I'm torn as to which one I would do. You know, who is that? Who is the king that cut the baby? Who split the baby here? I don't want to split this baby, and you're willing to split the baby. That's how I know you are not the real father of the VR system. You are not the real father of PSVR. However, you are the decider. You are the king here, and for that reason, we have to let Blasters of the Universe go forward. Adam, I hate that you're so ruthless. I never want you touching my child again. I don't want you trying to do anything terrible and splitting the baby. So Blasters of the Universe it is.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your children, because I'm raping everyone out here. Is that how it went?
Wasn't talking about that, Adam. Let's move on before we get in any hot water. Adam,
Okay.
We said it before. Super Stardust, Ultra VR, Space Pirate Trainer. Which one do you think wins?
Get it out of here.
Okay, Space Pirate Trainer moves on. Now here we have the big discussion, and I am going to hold firm. Blasters of the Universe versus Space Pirate Trainer for the king, the big kahuna title of wave shooters. Give me your thoughts, Adam. Who do you think is the winner here?
So my problem here is, I'm going to be honest, I haven't even seen footage of Space Pirate Trainer. So I have absolutely no idea what it's like. I have no way to defend Blasters. I've already defended and told you what I thought about Blasters. So rather than reiterating myself, that's where I stand.
Okay, then I'll try to talk this out just a little bit of my thought process. Because again, I'm kind of torn here, but I have a clear decision in my mind. Blasters of the Universe was the first wave shooter I played that made me think, hey, wave shooters are a viable platform if you do something interesting. You're right, Adam. It had you moving around. That was really exciting. It had some funny stuff. That guy, he's kind of annoying, but he's kind of funny. I love the 80s aesthetics and the music, and also the developer secret location. They are one of my favorite developers. They're the ones who released Transpose. Blasters of the Universe and Transpose, that is an unbeatable combination. So I love Blasters of the Universe. The weapon combinations are awesome. I love, reloading by putting a clip in my gun. I love playing with the weapons in the menu screen. I love the daily challenges. That's so much wonderful stuff there. And it's just so bright and vibrant graphically. It's hard to argue against it. However, I must argue against it with Space Pirate Trainer. Space Pirate Trainer sets out to make you feel like a space pirate badass. If you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, you feel like Peter Quill. If you've seen Star Wars, you feel like Han Solo. If you've seen Cowboy Bebop, you feel like Spike Spiegel. You feel like one of these gunslingers out there, out in the great Western Hemisphere of space, and you're shooting robots. Now, the downside of Space Pirate Trainer is there is one level. It is one level, and there's no variety in that. But the level that it has is very, very pretty, and it's interactive. And it really sells you on the presence. I never felt when I played Blasters of the Universe, I never felt like I was in the environment. It was just fun to look at. But when I play Space Pirate Trainer, I feel like I'm on the landing pad. I want to look around at the environments. I want to shoot everything and make things blow up. And then on top of that, it is so satisfying. Blasters of the Universe, you have one gun, and you can change the gun in between levels. But for Space Pirate Trainer, you have two guns, and you have 6 firing modes in each gun: a shotgun, a pistol, an automatic pistol, a pulse laser, a rail gun, and then you have a grenade launcher. And you can mix and match. You can have a gun in one hand, gun in the other hand. The weapon combinations, it doesn't have 100 combinations of weapons, but the combinations it have are all useful. Unlike Blasters of the Universe, which it has 100 combinations, but 80 of them suck nuts. Nobody wants to play with them. Also, I'm on the leaderboards and Space Pirate Trainer, so I kind of feel like I need to push that a little bit. No, Space Pirate Trainer, you can also play it without shooting. You can reach behind your back, pull out your bat, and pull out your shield, and you can dual wield bats and you can dual wield shields if you really want to. There's a lot of variety in the gameplay here, and the game doesn't waste your time, man. You play, you die, you play again, and the big thing here, the big thing that sells it, you mentioned earlier. I'm sorry I'm talking so much, Adam. You mentioned earlier, Super Hot could have been on this list. Would Super Hot have won as a wave shooter? And I'm going to say no, because what happens in Space Pirate Trainer is when you're about to get hit by a bullet, the game becomes super hot. Time slows down, and you are dodging the bullets in slow motion, and you're firing at the enemies, and as the bullets whiz by you, and you're watching all the action take place, you're shooting the enemies at the same time, strategizing in real time, in real bullet time, and it is astounding, and it is epic, and it is so much fun. I love Space Pirate Trainer. I have to put it forward. I have to let it beat Blasters of the Universe. I love Blasters, but Space Pirate Trainer feels so damn awesome. What say you?
Well, so as you've been talking, I've been watching gameplay. My first question, very quickly, because we're running out of time and we don't want this thing to be 2 hours long. If Ancient Amuleter was against Space Pirate Trainer, which one would you pick?
Space Pirate Trainer, hands down.
Okay. So I'm looking at this, and I'm still, I'm still watching. I'm starting to think you're an idiot. This does not look that great. Like, there's one. If this is the only level you see, I could see playing this for an hour max and never touching it again. Like, and for you to even say that Super Hot wouldn't beat this makes me want to wait till you fall asleep, shave your head, eat your hair, poop in your toilet, and not flush, and be gone before 5 a.m.
What does eating my hair do?
It goes through, so then I poop it out. Because otherwise I can't poop. You are so stupid. How can you say this is better than Super Hot?
It's better than Super Hot as a wave shooter. If you're going to play Super Hot as a wave shooter alone, this is better than Super Hot to me.
Oh my gosh, you are an imbecile. Here's the thing. Looking at this game, wave shooters just suck. That's what it is. So I mean, fine. If you think that's better, I haven't played this. I can't really say what I think about it. I think definitely Blasters and Space Pirate Trainer really are the two best wave shooters on the system. I think that we can agree on, with Ancient Amuleter probably being third. But I think the differences between those three are pretty slim, and so it's kind of down to personal preference at that point.
Well, for the sake of giving a definitive answer, I'm going to say Space Pirate Trainer wins because you seem to be split as I was split before. And because Space Pirate Trainer is basically a better version of Super Hot.
I will kill you. I will. Oh, I'm coming. I am coming. You better wear a bald cap tonight, buddy, because it's F you. Okay, so this is what I think we're going to do. We spent a buttload of time talking about wave shooters, and I don't like them. I want to change the subject. So we're going to jingle ball our way back to reality and go back to, or actually head towards segment 3, where we're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about airing of grievances. And then we're going to, I guess, jingle ball our way back home. So stick with us. We'll talk to you in the third segment.
That's the sound of waves, everybody. We just got done talking about all the wonderful waves. It's a big kahuna of Space Pirate Trainer hitting you right in the face, refreshing you, and taking you to a place that you've never been before, in space. Space Pirate Trainer. I love it. Adam loves it. It's our big kahuna winner. But enough of wave shooters. We are moving on now. It is time to talk about some news. We've had some juicy news coming out, and it's time for us to check in with our beep, 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 the rectal thermometer of the podcast, Adam, to let us know what is hot and what is not. Adam, biggest news of the week, Borderlands VR has been released. Now, the word on the street is mixed, but Gearbox said they're waiting for more feedback from the fans before they go on to further VR plans. Adam, how are you feeling about Borderlands? Are you wanting to get it? Are you interested, or do you think it's just not your kind of game?
Well, I'm not even considering it until it gets below $50. Are you effing kidding me? 50? Here's the thing. Every game that I've bought that was $40, I've just gotten bent over and they haven't even used lube. Tetris Effect sucked. Skyrim was like, Inpatient wasn't that expensive. What was the other $40 game I totally got just reamed on? Oh, Firewall Zero Hour. Didn't like it. I mean, I'm just getting rocked. I'm not doing it. The big risks aren't worth the reward. Even if good reviews come out, I'm not doing it till they get that price down. I'm not getting my jingle balls all jingly because I'm going to wait until it goes down, and then I'll look at the reviews and make my decision at that point. Although, I will say this, Alex. If they come out, Gearbox, with Duke effing Nukem, I will spend $70 for Duke effing Nukem because there'll be some 3D boobies in there, and then there's going to be a whole lot of aliens to shoot, and that has a big nostalgia trip for me, my friend, because I was a Duke Nukem 64 kid way back, way back in the day. So, yeah. So I'll tell them whatever they want to hear to get Duke Nukem.
So just a little bit of info on Borderlands. We don't have it yet. I'm probably going to get it here in a little bit, but we haven't played it yet. They only let the big reviewers play it. Polish Paul got it when it came out. He did a live stream of it. He said he's not going to give it a score just now. He doesn't do full reviews, but if he had to give it a score after playing it for about 5 hours, he said he could anticipate giving it like a 9 out of a 10. Now we have other reviewers. I think it was Road to VR gave it a 5.5 out of 10. And then we have Upload VR. They gave it a 7 out of 10. So we have a wide variety of scores out there. A lot of people complaining there's no multiplayer. Borderlands is famous for the multiplayer. Adam, you like this. There's almost an infinite number of guns you can get. They're randomly generated as enemies drop. The game is kind of like a Skyrim. It's going to be prettier than Skyrim. It's kind of like an apocalyptic Skyrim that's funny. It's open world. There's a whole lot of content. And instead of doing swords and stuff like that, you're shooting awesome guns. And it's funny, Adam. And there's some 3D boobies, too. And there's aliens to shoot. So I think this might be your kind of game. If ever there was a game I think you should spend $50 on, here, I'm doing it again. I think it should be Borderlands VR. But I want to know, Adam, what price do you think it's going to have to be before you consider buying it?
It's going to be real low, dude. I'm talking $25. Cut it in half.
Hey, I can appreciate that. It's an old game. They should have released it at like $29.99. I think the $50 is a high price tag. And we'll explain later why I'm going to be getting it, even though it's so expensive. But up next, you're going to like this news. Beat Saber, the developers announced on Twitter that they have a special Christmas present for all consoles of Beat Saber. It's going to be coming out before Christmas, they said, too. And there's been rumblings of a new song pack being released. Adam, are you tired of the songs in Beat Saber? Are you ready for another song pack?
Here's the thing. I took about a week break, came back, and holy crap. There are probably 4 songs, and again, I'm going to reiterate, I don't like music, and you know that if you listen to the podcast, I say all the time, Alex, you know, but there are 4 songs on there that are like, they are dang good. Like, I would listen to them if I'm hanging out or running or whatever. Like, they are dang good. So, yeah, I'm not sick of them yet, but I will gladly take on 10 more songs.
Okay, yeah, I don't have Beat Saber yet either. I want to get that, so maybe if I get that, I can get the song pack at the same time, and I'll just have, between Borderlands and Beat Saber, there's way too much video going to be playing just with those 2 games alone. But moving on, Adam, the notorious Roller Coaster Tycoon Joyride, the game that was put on the store and immediately taken off of the PlayStation Store because of some reasons we're not sure. It had a surprise release this week, and suddenly you can play it, you can buy it, it's $20. Adam, you were excited about this game at one point. Are you still excited about it?
So the people who had bought it when it initially came out, I mean, there were bad reviews. But I still say that the actual theory of the game is incredible. A 3D amusement park that you create and then can ride your own rides, that is awesome, if that is what it is. I don't know that. I'm just saying that, in theory, is a great game. So I'm still interested, but I am going to have to get a little more info, maybe read a review, see some gameplay before I pull the trigger. But that one, yeah, that one tickles my jingle balls.
If it's just riding roller coasters, even though you make them, are you going to enjoy it? I mean, we've played, Roller Coaster Legends and stuff like that. Riding a roller coaster alone isn't anything super exciting. I can't imagine making it's going to make riding the roller coaster better. Is there something I'm missing out on here?
Wrong. It's a roller coaster you made, Alex. That is going to be, especially if they let you, I doubt this will be the case, but if they allow you to not complete the coaster so you fly off into the air, that would be fantastic. I mean, I think there's some merit there. There is some merit, and of the other roller coaster games and of the other amusement park games, this one has the potential to be the best, but we'll see how the execution is.
All right. Well, that's the news. Moving on to the sales, the big discounts we're getting this week. And the first sale I want to talk about, Adam, is the PSVR bundle sale. They did it over Black Friday, and then they released the Borderlands 2 and the Beat Saber bundle. And they announced again they're dropping $100 off of all of the PSVR bundles from December 16th through December 26th. Adam, Borderlands 2, Beat Saber, and a version 2 headset with a camera and the newest Move controllers, not special new Move controllers, but just the newest version of the Move controllers, all for $250. I'm pulling the trigger, Adam. Are you wanting to pull the trigger?
So, I mean, if I had any issues with my headset, I probably would, because look, Borderlands $50, so now you're down to $200. Beat Saber, I forgot, I think it was $30, so now you're down to $170. You're in $170 for all of that stuff you just mentioned. I think if you're going to do it or if you want to upgrade, now is the time. I probably won't just because I feel like I don't need an upgrade. The upgrades that they have, I'm not dying to get. But, yeah, if you have – I mean, that's a good deal. That is a good effing deal, man. So, yeah, if you're considering it, I think you should pull the trigger. I think you, Alex, should pull the trigger.
I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to shoot enemies in Borderlands, and I'm going to pull the trigger and smash blocks in Beat Saber. No, I was thinking about pulling the trigger on this deal back when it was Creed and Super Hot, and I already had those games. Now it's 2 new games that I want to play that are expensive, and I can get those as well. This is an incredible deal. The only question is, what do I do with my old headset?
Ooh, so you could sell it. You could give it to someone who you think would enjoy it. That's about it. Or, I mean, technically, you could keep it as a backup in case a headset breaks.
My backup headset. Where's the backup? Where's the
backup? Hey, you could keep it there and play some games, some multiplayer games with friends that come to your house.
I'd need another PlayStation 4, but you're right. That's not a bad idea. But anyways, that's enough talk about that. Moving on to the game sales. This is what everybody wants to talk about. So Sony normally does like a winter sale, and it lasts weeks at a time. So they'll do a week 1 of games that are on sale. Then they'll do, if you don't like that, they're going to have a second week and a third week, maybe even a fourth week of games that are on sales. This is a prime time to be buying games. They know people are getting their new systems. They know people are getting their systems for Christmas, got it for Black Friday. They need to be buying some games. A ton of games are on sale right now for PSVR. We can't go through all of them. We talked a lot about wave shooters, so I'm going to list the standouts, and I'm going to see what you think about them, Adam. Dirt Rally VR bundle for $9.99. How do you feel, Adam?
That's the first time I've actually seriously considered purchasing this game.
Yeah,
I just put it at that.
Yeah, you should get it. Just in Time Incorporated, $4.49.
You're a fool if you don't buy it. You have to buy it at this price. That is a stupid price. But it is what it is, baby. Buy it.
You know what? The first person that contacts me and says that they want to buy this game, I will send them $5 so they can buy this game. So contact us. First person to contact us asking for $5. I'll buy this game for you. I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it. Put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to buy somebody Just in Time Incorporated. Merry Christmas, you fools. Space Rift, Episode 1. Daniel Weissenberger's recommendation, $5.99. How do you feel?
I would watch his Netflix movie, not buying it.
Okay, so I bought it, and I actually really enjoy it. It's fun. I haven't beat it yet, but it's really interesting. The storytelling is fun. The interaction with the cockpit is surprising. There's so many cool things going on in the cockpit that I don't know why other space flight sims aren't doing this. You know, it's not graphically terrible, and I am disappointed playing it knowing that it's going to end on a cliffhanger and I'm never going to get any resolution. But for what I have, I think it's definitely worth the $5, $6, $7 that I've paid for it. It's really fun. Adam, Blasters of the Universe, $7.49.
So that's a real good price. I mean, I feel like honestly, if you wait, it could get lower, but that's still a good price. Like we already talked about it. I think if you're gonna buy a wave shooter, that's a good price. Honestly, though, don't buy a wave shooter. Buy something else. Like, please, come on.
Okay, speaking of not buying a wave shooter and buying something else, Adam, I want you to get this game. I really want you to get it. Killing Floor Incursion, $14.99. That's expensive, but man, it is worth it. This game is pretty. This game is violent. This game is fun. And this game is action packed. Adam, you can walk up to a zombie, bash him with a fireman's axe, rip off his arm, and then beat his friends to death with his arm. And then you could grab 2 machine guns and just shoot machine guns everywhere, blast their heads off with shotguns. It is so much fun. And I want to play it in co-op with you, Adam. I want to cultivate this relationship that we have. Won't you just pay $15 so that our relationship can grow, Adam, so that we can become better friends, so that we can kill the floor together?
Here's what I'll do, Alex. I've never seriously considered buying this game before because it's too expensive. I don't want to pay $15. I still think it's too expensive. But I will watch some gameplay because you're right. It does sound like a game in which I would like. I love beating people with their own limbs, yet alone zombies. I love violence. I love dark and kind of scary things. And I've heard nothing but good things about it. So, I should probably buy it. Maybe now's the time. I don't know when it's going to be cheaper, sadly. So I may just have to freaking suck it up and do it and buy it. So I'll look into it. No promises, but I will promise you I will look into it.
Makes me happy to hear that, Adam. Now, the last one, Space Pirate Trainer, $11.99. It's not going to be that price long because this isn't a winter sale. This is a launch sale. I think it's only going to be like that for a couple more days. It's our big kahuna, and the second place is only $7.49. So buy either one of these. You're going to not be disappointed unless you're Adam and you hate things that come in waves. What are you thinking, Adam? You going to buy Space Pirate Trainer?
No, I don't buy a shooter. There are too many other good games out there. Don't do it. But here's what I want to know, Alex. So of all of these sales, I want to know, what are you going to buy?
Well, I think I own all of the games that I just listed. There was a game that I was wanting to get. Do you have one in mind? No, that's what I'm going to buy, the sale. Dude, I'm going to buy the bundle.
I guess I'll let that count. Okay.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be something in week 2 that I can't say no to. I still have some of these games that we talked about, the wave shooter games. I want to play them a little bit. Even buy a wave shooter on sale. You play it once, you forget about it. You might have had a good time. If it was like $4, it's worth it. So yeah, I'll probably buy one of these wave shooters. Well, let me look at the list. What wave shooter? I'm gonna buy Shooty Fruity when it's on sale.
Shooty Fruity. Okay, so and I want some fan input here because Alex and I neither have played this game, and it's one that intrigues me. I'm going to buy it unless someone contacts me and says this game effing sucks. Don't buy it. It's 100-foot robot golf. I am appalled that there isn't a golf game yet for the PSVR. That makes me want to punch a child. This looks like it could be fun. I heard it's kind of broken and janky. But you go from golfing to then going into a Transformer-type battle mode to golfing. Like, it has potential in my mind, and I think that it's $2. So unless someone says, trust me, it's not worth it, I'm going to buy it because it's only $2. So that's where I stand. That's why right after I finish Red Matter, I'm jumping into 100-foot robot golf.
I'm happy to hear you say that, Adam, because that's exactly how I jumped into Stunt Kite Masters VR, and it was a life-enriching experience, and I can only hope for the similar amount of success for you. That being said, Adam, it's time to move on to the airing of grievances. I'm going to lead it off. I don't have a huge airing of grievance. The one I do want to mention is I hate these big-time devs thinking they're too big to give out review codes, and they only give out review codes to the quote-unquote big boys. Road to VR? Have you read their reviews? It's like they've never played a VR game before, and suddenly they're reviewing VR games, and people want to send them codes. They're the ones that gave Zone of the Enders a perfect score. They gave it a perfect score, and then they had the gall to give what's it called? I'm an idiot. No, wait. Road to VR didn't give Zone of the Enders a perfect score. VR Focus did, and they also gave Borderlands a perfect score. But Road to VR, still, reading the review of Borderlands, it just seemed like the guy hadn't played video games, or he was upset that Borderlands wasn't multiplayer. He's judging a game for what it's not rather than what it is. We can always say, I wish this game was actually XYZ, rather than judging what a game actually presents you. Borderlands presents you a really full game from what I've seen, and who cares if it doesn't have aim support? And my grievance is my green screen, actually, right now. For those that are watching on YouTube, my green screen keeps falling over. That's it. I'm pissed off at him. I'm tired of this. Move on to grievance.
That's hilarious. I can't believe it lasted that long. I've been telling the freaking idiot for weeks, buy an actual screen. Idiot. I'm glad it happened to you. Freaking suck, Alex. I'm not going to have you be my grievance for the second week in a row, although it very well could be, you freaking bum. That's actually really funny, and that's hilarious. But my grievance here is the fact that we had to have an episode to cover all of the freaking wave shooters to determine the best one. Why are there so many wave shooters? Listen, the wave shooter is like the biggest waste of a VR technology. There has to be some, okay? I understand there has to be some, but I feel like there's no way there should be over 20. Are you kidding me? That is absolutely ridiculous. All it is you stand there and you pelt people with enemies. It's not hard to program. It's almost little creativity goes into it. It's very cut and dry. They're not fun. People don't enjoy them. And then there are other games like Evasion who try to cover the fact that they're wave shooters by giving you a little locomotion, but it's the same thing. Why can't you come up with a plot? Why can't you come up with an interesting idea? Like, it just breaks my heart that there are so many freaking wave shooters. Like, there's no reason Sneaky Bears needs to be a game. There's no reason Snow Fortress needs to be a game. Gunjack, why? Like, why are these games? Like, who is going to be like, dang it, man. Yes, the American dream. Yes. No one. Because they're freaking sucky games. Half of them don't even work well. And then the ones that do work, they're so uninspiring. VR is so incredible. You could help train doctors. You could, Richie's plank experience. I haven't played it because I'm afraid of heights, but you could feel what it's like to be on top of the world and potentially fall off a plank. There's so many incredible things you could do in VR. You could be Vive and be a little like, you know, one Eukaryo in this soil sample. There's so many things you could do, and yet you choose the most uninspiring game and experience that you can think of by standing there and just sending wave after wave of enemies. It sucks. And the fact that there are so many of them that we had to have a bracket style game is just atrocious. I'm disappointed. I mean, I'm glad we have games to cover, but like, that just depresses. That's my grievance. There shouldn't be that many wave shooters. That really freaking sucks. And I hope we don't get another wave shooter the rest of the year. Yes, I know there's only 3 weeks left, but I hope is Borderlands, that's not a wave shooter, right? That's an actual full locomotion. Yeah. So I hope there's not a freaking wave shooter. F this, dude. F wave shooters. Alex, you got anything to say?
No, I'm done.
You know, you are freaking done. You suck. You and your green screen can go to heck. But, dude, okay. Even with all the crappy wave shooters, what an episode. Are your balls jingling, listener? That's right. I'm talking to you. Because let me tell you what. My balls are. They're jingling away. But we want to thank you for listening. Either way, I hope my jingling balls haven't distracted you from the greatness that is PlayPSVR, the podcast. Remember to subscribe to us on iTunes. Always, and now, heck, look on us or for us on YouTube, because now you'll get to see these beautiful faces online in real time when we actually possibly have green screens up. So hopefully, if you like that, let us know. If you just want to stick with the audio, then we won't worry about this because it's more work for us. So keep the conversations coming. Check out our Reddit, our Twitter, our Twitch. We've on all these things. Our website, playpsvr.com. We want you guys to talk to us. I don't care if you go, there are jingle balls up. I want to hear from you. And we just love the comments we get from you guys and the fact you guys actually listen. It makes it worth doing. Oh, man, I love the Christmas season. Can't wait. Stay in contact. Contact us. And until next time, this is Adam. That's Alex from Play PSVR, where virtual reality is our reality.